All right, let's hope for the best here. What are we seeing? Oh, the all black isn't gonna help you here. Yo, if you go all the way back, before I was making a video a day, I would kind of freeform some Instagram stuff. And there was a competition, I think it was the Fittest Experience, and I was about as vocal as you could get on why I thought a whole bunch of stuff was really dumb. There was a workout where they incorporated a weighted vest on back squats. First of all, you don't really often see back squats in a competition, and then number two, you need to take the bar from the floor, put the bar on your back, and then you wonder why you need to put the weighted vest on. Either increase the number of pulling movements, which is the reason you would throw that on. You're doing Murph, you're doing pull-ups, you're doing push-ups, every bodyweight movement's a little bit more challenging. But then I also remember that in that qualifier, they had some distance on the rower, either a 2 or a 3K. Everyone from across the globe, more likely within the continental United States, traveled to Texas to go do the Fittest Experience, and then they did another row in person. I don't know whether or not it was a floater, but there was just a lot of stuff in that competition that didn't make any sense. And I was just coming at him hard. I made that joke, which is day one every day until whenever they want to reach out to me and come back at me saying that the Fittest Experience is the worst competition I've ever seen put on in person. But in either case, you could say that this is going to be a video where I'm kind of going back to my roots. There's another competition. Just kind of stumbled across it on Instagram. And just like the competition that I brought up, the Fittest Experience, which I think is in Texas, it's just a bunch of stuff that they had posted to their own story. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just play the story. It's kind of long. It ends up being about 7 minutes long. And I'm going to talk to you about exactly what it is that I'm seeing as I'm seeing it. And I'm sure that this will resonate with a lot of you. Let's go. All right, it looks like a sunny day in, I believe it's Florida. Yeah, Jupiter, Florida. That's where I am. I don't even know what this is. At Thoroughbred CrossFit. Okay. And here we have a vendor village pick, and there's a bunch of people here. Okay, what are you talking about, Andrew? Oh, a competition with kettlebell swings. Can't really see from that angle whether or not, but it doesn't appear as if that is going to be a complete overhead position. Here we've got some jack dude doing some toes to bar. Those look good. What's the issue? Even maybe grid style toes to bar. Pretty quick right there. Cool, no issue going on here. I don't know any of these people's names. Yannick Furich. And we got some box jump overs. And I have those shoes. I have those exact same Metcons. Those look good. Can't really mess up a box jump over, can ya? 30 inches, no issue thus far. Here we've got some other dude, pretty freaking jacked. Oh, whoa, oh. What is it? What do we got here? What? Oh, that's also no rep. Not really sure why you would have any sort of a lunge like that in a competition. Maybe they don't have lanes, but you're kind of setting everybody up for failure. So more rope climbs. Okay, the outdoor glasses with bandana look. Everyone's got the headbands. Maybe it's not a bandana, but a headband. Okay, couple picture maybe. I don't know, maybe they're workout partners, who knows. Here we go, that is a pretty good looking clean and jerk right there. Vulcan weights, they look cool. I've seen those online before. They always have a Black Friday deal. No deal there. Andrew, here we go again. You see it time and time again. What is the standard on this? How do you standardize this lunge? And everyone's doing them the same way. Maybe that's okay because everyone is doing them the same way. But I just don't think that lunge should be in competition, if you ask me. Here we go. Another. You got to extend the knees before you stand. But I would say absolutely not. Sorry, I don't know who you are, but and I'm sorry that they reposted you to their competition page, but those don't count. And I don't know what that was, so it appears as if I just clicked through this. Yeah, I just screen recorded this entire thing. I put my phone down and I let it roll. All right, what do we got here? We have lack of hip extension. This would be giving you major penalties. But we wouldn't know how many repetitions on the appeals list for the CrossFit Games this year. But no hip extension there. Here we've got some not below parallel. That one looked to be a little bit below parallel, but not that one, or the one previous, or that one on these wall balls. And it seems like the turnover was rather quick. Was he hitting the target? We don't. Here we go. More overhead squats. No depth and no hip extension. I mean, overhead mobility looks great, but you're not doing anything to standard. All right, let's hope for the best here. What are we seeing? Oh, the all black isn't going to help you here. Neither is the fact that this competition is just making themselves look terrible with these overhead squats, where the lunges that we had seen, those aren't the best to have programmed in a competition. But now we have the overhead squats, which by all means should be fine. right? I mean, it's showing that you're mobile. It shows that you... And then we have this light kettlebell. I wonder if they're doing this for 1,000 reps. It looks like she could do it for 1,000 reps. It makes you wonder why. Here we go. Same person that was over at squatting. Getting her chin over the bar. Nothing wrong there. And to be honest, what was wrong in the one that they're doing, the overhead squat, wasn't as much of her... Here we go. Someone trying to hide the depth on this overhead and the hip extension. You can't hide the hip extension with this angle, but you can hide whether or not they're getting low enough up, and that one was really bad. And here's another one. What is going on here? The Vulcan weights are cool, and the squat depth is garbage, and the hip extension is non-existent. That was a no rep on the bar muscle up. That one was a no rep on the bar muscle up. I mean, you're up there. That one was good. There you go. The elbows locked out. Elbows locked out and being up there are not one and the same. Here we got another one. Looks very similar. This was the athlete who just, I believe, was also not squatting. So this entire workout, that last one, oh man, that one is a no rep because you're at parallel. We saw that on the CrossFit Games training page the other day. At parallel, below parallel. What are we doing here, guys? That one was one of your worser of the squats. I mean, you are doing it in grass. Maybe I should be a little bit more thoughtful with the way I'm putting it, because it's hard to do things in grass, right, Andrew? There's the workout with 1,000 kettlebell swings. He's pumped. I just finished my 1,000 unbroken kettlebell swings. All black. What are we thinking? That one, first one appeared to be below parallel. There's 4 targets there. That's kind of nuts. 4 targets on a wall ball target. All right, some pull-ups, chin over the bar. That's a dangerous game. West Palm Beach, Florida. Oh, he paused at the top of the rep. And he's hitting depth. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. What do you know? I bet he finished in dead last because nobody else had to do this. And that's the issue here. That guy's bow-legged. So he's pausing at the top. See that? Nope, that one wouldn't have counted in either way because, oh man, this guy's got some poor anthropometrics. Here we go, 1,000 reps with the kettlebell swing again. What is this? And why are they going to the ground? Did they learn nothing in Regional Nate 2016 where you've got to go to the hang with the kettlebell snatches? This guy ain't messing around again. Everyone else is quarter squatting, going to or just above parallel. That is a heavy kettlebell. Maybe this is the RX division. And then you go later on the swings. This guy's got some tree trunks. The guy on the right has no hamstrings when compared to the guy on the left. I don't want to be doing wall balls next to that guy. What do we got now? Here we go. This guy can't lock out his elbows. But look at that uprise. He can't lock out his elbows in extension. Maybe it's just the way that his biceps. You know that one guy was bow-legged on the overhead squats? This guy's biceps are so big, it doesn't look like he can lock his arms out overhead. Some rope pull and run across with a sled. That would actually really kind of suck. As it would to have the ownership of this field after it gets yanked across 1,000 times with these sleds of this competition. Here's the overhead squat girl who could also do chin over the bar pull-ups. This is the 3rd time she's been featured on here. Good for her. She's a favorite of this competition. And now we have another sled pull. See, look at it, just becoming a dirt road. After you do that a couple times, it's the issue that you had at the CrossFit Games, right? Are all the lanes going to be the same when you do it like this? Do they care? I like the idea of the workout for sure. And maybe, I don't know, how have they standardized this? I don't think we should really be worrying about that though, considering they don't even standardize the most common of movements that have been standardized for as long as we've ever seen them. So, I don't have much to say about this because it's just the same sled pull. More rowing. Cool hair. Pink hair, cool braids. I've always liked the way that women can kind of get creative with a way to keep their hair out of their eyes when they're going at these competitions. I mean, guys don't have that issue. I've seen Alexis go through it, different braids. People have certain braiding techniques, which is always, I'll grow my hair out and then I can see what it's like. Not really too much you can do to screw up a rower or a sled. So maybe there's just not much more to talk about at this point about this competition. I mean, the only thing is what we've already stated. I do like these apparatuses where there's just kind of a tarp and you pull on the tarp and you pull it across. But Tommy Ward, bye. What did we learn here? We learned that kettlebell lunge or whatever lunge they were doing, it's hard to do them in place for speed and expect everyone to be doing them the same way. I mean, maybe you could say that you got to stand up at the top, both feet have to be on the ground next to one another before you go down, but then there's also going to be them wanting to keep their knees and hips flexed because it's going to increase the turnover of the rep after rep after rep. So that's an issue. You have the common movements that we've seen across the globe for quite some time now: the overhead squat, the clean and jerk. Before you come down on the clean and jerk, you need to show that everything's been stacked, even if it's for a fraction of a second. Adrian Bosman brought it up on the CrossFit Podcast with Chase. If you issue one no rep, the athlete tends to start moving better right away so that every single rep doesn't look like garbage. But what happens when every single rep looks like garbage, especially in a live competition like that, is that the people who are doing things the right way get punished. And then there's potentially a judge that is doing their job to their fullest, and the athlete's being held to a standard, and then they look over and they see someone who's doing kettlebell swings 4 inches out in front of their body, and then that athlete's got to hold the right standard, whatever that might be, where maybe say the arm is entirely over the midline of their body and maybe it's bottoms up on their kettlebell swing but not everybody else's, and every single second you're getting half of a second behind because of the standard discrepancy. And this is just a local competition, but it's a learning point because it's incredibly clear that there's issues here, just like the fittest experience back then. Don't try to get cute, don't try to get fancy, don't put a vest on when you're doing back squats at the fittest experience. If you had everyone do a row to qualify to get to your competition, don't also have them do some sort of a crazy row when they get there. And again, it's just kind of common sense, isn't it? We're gonna have all of these people at this local competition do this thing at max speed and then expect the best with judges who we brief with the athletes. I don't know that for sure. I'm speculating. Speculating usually gets me in trouble. But yeah, going back to the roots today, and as always, nothing against the competition, nothing against the athletes. It's an opportunity for everyone who has seen this video to hopefully take something away from it. And if there's a competition in the future, there can be discussions had around this stuff, such as we're not going to be doing these lunges. We're going to be making sure that everyone understands where they're doing so that there aren't advantages for one lane over another lane. And if you keep on doing it, you keep on beating down the door for month after month after year, it makes everything better. Yeah? Andrew Hiller, out.